Hello, boys and girls, ladies and G's. Are you ready for an adventure? Well, come along with me as we travel around the world and see things rarely seen with the naked eye in places rarely visited on my new show, Rare Sightings with Safari Thundah. And we'll be seeing things that are very rare. Well, hello. Welcome to the show. Are you ready to roll? Well, let's go. You guys, you all know me. It's your host, Safari Thundah. Welcome to the show, Rare Sightings. We were out and about. Trusty cameraman Dyke, Myke, the sound guy Mitch, Hennessey, and my new driver, the big man Tiny Tim. When we stumbled upon, wouldn't you have it, a cold-blooded animal out in the element doing what he does. Now, we all know there are cold-blooded animals and then there are warm-blooded animals. The big difference is cold-blooded animals, they're not capable of regulating their body's temperature according to the temperature around them, their surroundings. The body temperature of these animals usually fluctuates as they move in different surroundings with different temperatures. Thus, they do not have a constant body temperature. The body temperature is never always the same. Because of this reason, these animals cannot survive in extreme temperatures. Now, cold-blooded animals include things like reptiles, which are snakes, turtles, and such. Animals such as amphibians, insects, and other invertebrates. And these animals are also called poikilothermic animals. I know it's a big word, but poikilothermic animals. The cold-blooded animals usually demonstrate any three of the thermal regulation mechanisms: poikilothermy, ectothermy, or heterothermy. Now, we'll get into the breakdowns of what those big words mean a little later. I really just wanted you guys to get a glimpse of this rare specimen in his element. Now, as we mentioned earlier, these cold-blooded animals and reptiles and such, they're not able to regulate their own body temperature. So, when they want to heat themselves up or want to get the body a little warmer, what it is do you think that they do? I'll give you a clue. Everyone does it when they go to the beach. That's right, he sunbathes. And as you see, this guy here, he's taking it to an entirely different level. He's literally out here bathing himself in the rays of the sun like he's actually in the shower, like he's actually in the bathtub with bubbles popping around his head and such. Now, I couldn't believe it when we stumbled upon it. We just happened to finish scarfing down an incredible lunch. We're on our way to another location further off in Harlem as we're traveling through Brooklyn, and we make a roundabout through the downtown area near Barclays Stadium. You guys might recognize the location he's standing in if you're from the Brooklyn area and you're familiar with the downtown area, Clinton Hills area, Fort Greens and such. This is commonplace there. All of the people are usually known to frequent this area. It's a high traffic, high foot area. They happen to just not be so many people and specimens and animals around as we caught this guy in his element. Now, the crazy thing It seems as if he happened to even notice us watching him. Incredible. This was rare, very rare indeed. Now, in nature, animals are typically known to do what comes to them instinctively. In and around when they're doing these things that are natural, primitive, embedded in their DNA, you never expect for them to interact and notice you noticing them. But that's exactly what happened. Incredible. The species, the intelligence on these species unheard of. Remarkable indeed. I tell you, now, with all of the various crazy things happening in the world, famine, starvation, the development of a pandemic, the entire world being shut down for over a year. You never think that you would come upon a species out in their element doing such an incredible, doing the same thing that you do yourself. Now, some of the movements, some of the motions is quite similar to the exact same way that I bathe myself. I didn't even know this was possible. I've heard the stories, and some of my colleagues have been out in the bush, out in the wild, out in nature. I never seen some of these things, so they said. I never believed it. Such a story. I know you've probably heard the stories of rodents and rats getting it on like human beings, actually straddling the female and robbing, and too much details for some of the younger viewers that may be watching. Maybe I'll touch on that in a different show. But I've heard the stories of rodents in the form of fellatio and sexual relations, doing it just like human beings. I thought it was preposterous. I thought it was something that wouldn't happen. But here, right here in front of my own eyes, and thankfully, gratefully, luckily, the entire Rare Sightings team was here to be able to capture the moment. Mitch Hennessey, quick on the draw with all of the sound devices. Dyke, Myke, his eyeball, it's almost like the camera is part of his face, part of his cranium. The phone calls are going crazy and bananas. They're important the vibrations. Then we have our newest colleague, our driver, Tiny Tim, able to stop the vehicle on a dime, get us in the right angle and in position to capture this rare footage for you today. Incredible. Cold-blooded. It reminds me of a song by a group that I like out of Orlando, Florida, also known as the Everglades. These guys called Red Rum AOD. They have a song called Cold Blooded. I think we need to have that on somewhere in the background. You guys, let me know in the comments what you think of the song. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, stay in touch, stay in tune, keep your eyes open and your ears to the street, because you never know when someone you know, someplace you might be, with something you might be doing, you never know exactly when or how it could become one of those things that might be something that could only go down in the history books, could only be described as rare and very rare indeed.